Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Let's get it started. I already see a few questions in the chat, and yeah, a lot of people saying hello. So hey, let me know where are you joining from, city, state, country, and yeah, let's get it started. Um, Hi Rishav, hi Anshul, uh, hi Roshni. So Anshul asks, does branch really matter? And he's from environmental branch. I don't think branch matters. Especially in tech. Uh, I don't have a degree, so and I know a lot of people who don't have a degree or any kind of diploma too, and they're working, not only in tech but also big tech. So yeah, I don't think you really need uh, to worry about a branch. But if it's something that's not of your interest, like you're doing it just for the sake, like I wouldn't do it. I'm talking about the environmental branch. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Being human gaming, hello Rishabh, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. Oh, you're from Vaughan. Nice. Um, I've been there a few times. It's a pretty good city. It's okay. I think I loved Kingston the most so far. So I've been living in Kitchener Waterloo area for almost 8 months now, and yeah, I miss Kingston. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the chat, and we'll go through them. I am planning. So I don't know if the stream chat is working. Feels like it's not. Probably Wonderland, yes. So two times it was Wonderland. Um, I love a restaurant there. There's like a really good Indian place that we stumbled upon because we were hungry after we were to Wonderland and wanted to grab some food, and we want to go to Toronto or Mississauga. But yeah, it was delicious. Is there a relationship between cloud security and DevOps? I was interested in cloud security, but got intrigued with DevOps. I think there is a skill set that will overlap, definitely, right? Because um, there's uses of cloud platforms in DevOps, and with cloud security, you are securing a cloud platform. So there's a lot of overlap when it comes to skill set, and that's why it might, you know, there might be a relationship. But yes, so if you already have started your journey for cloud security and you want to try out DevOps and are interested in DevOps, you can totally do that. And you can, jump back to cloud security if DevOps is not something you like. Again, there are a lot of skills that'll overlap for both of the fields. So being human says King Tandoori. I think that was it. I could be wrong, but yes, this was I think 3 years ago, so I can't remember. Um, Brother, can you please say how to get job after learning the skill and making some projects? Yeah, so for me, especially when I was looking for my first cloud role, right? Um, I apply to jobs where I just match maybe 40% or 50% of the requirements. I will still apply to them. And I try to focus on small to medium sized businesses, especially like we had an upper hand in Kingston. So there were a few companies, but, Kingston being a small city, there were not so many candidates. So I think if you're really eager to get a job in like cloud or tech, that would be my game plan, just to get my foot into the industry, and then you'll definitely progress forward as you upskill yourself and have more experience. But yeah, that's what I did. Is I asked my at the time employer where I was working in tech support that, I'm interested in cloud, and they were super helpful. They guided me through, and one day, there was an opening, and even though I didn't meet a lot of the requirements, and there were three external candidates who were way more experienced in cloud than me, have worked as a cloud engineer in their previous roles. But the upside was, I knew the product inside out, and that's what I talked about in my interviews. I'm like, I know that I'm not as technically capable as some of the other engineers who are external candidates, but you know, I know the product, I know the teams already. I have been working here for a year. So leverage the strengths you have right now, which is, your projects and your skills, which can show them you're ready to learn, you're ready to upskill, right? And target small to medium sized businesses and see if they have, openings in cloud. And don't include things that are not necessary on your resume. I would say that I've seen few resumes where, they have included that they worked. Not that it's bad, but it's not relevant, right? So I used to include that I worked at a gas station because, it developed some customer communication skills, right? Customer service skills. But that didn't do much justice, I would say. Instead, use that space to highlight your projects that you might have done in the college or you're doing right now. Talk about those projects in depth in your resume. But yeah, so those are a few tips that I guess might help you. Okay. And if everybody can like the stream, to support the channel, that would be awesome. I feel bad for asking, but I don't I don't make money doing these. So the best way to support the channel is you subscribe and like the stream. Highly appreciate I would highly appreciate that. So yeah, that was my answer to how to get a job after learning skill and making some projects. And let me know what roles you're interested in. We can look at it during the stream and it might help others. Maisha and Gary says, can we get DevOps or cloud jobs directly without any experience? Yes, definitely. If you can convince someone that you know cloud and you know DevOps, you can get it. I've seen, because there are now job postings for junior or associate cloud engineers or associate DevOps engineers, even internships now, that you might be able to get, as someone who has no prior experience as a cloud engineer. But yeah, if you have the right skill set, if you have really good projects that you can talk about and show you can work, as a cloud engineer and DevOps engineer, definitely you can get a role without any experience. I should say prior professional experience. You'll still have to upskill yourself, right? What advice will you give someone who is starting out in DevOps, as there's so much to learn? Don't get overwhelmed. Don't pivot your resources and roadmaps that you are looking at. So one thing in tech is hard to do is come across all these resources that are available at your disposal. So try to stick to the roadmap that you have created in your mind right now. Like, write it down. Let's say in next 6 months, these are 6 technologies I want to nail down, and stick to those. Trust the process. And that's what I'm trying to do with the DevOps guide. So I'll show you. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen now. And if we go to the DevOps.guide, so this is what I'm creating right now. And it's not finished, right? It's still something that's in progress. I started this last month. But yeah, this gives you kind of a roadmap on, what are some things that you need as a DevOps engineer. And this is from my experience working as a DevOps engineer. But yes, this is an open source free guide that you can use to upskill yourself. So starting off with, what is DevOps and how this guide works, right? And then we dive into different phases that I think are necessary, and then I go over what DevOps is. And what I'm trying to do is right now it's really theoretical, so you have to like read through stuff, and then I've also included some resources at the end. But I'm building a project that'll go hand in hand with this, so that you can build it, build that project and learn about CI/CD, infrastructure as code, version control system. So things like that are implemented as we also go through them theoretically, right? So that is the goal. And then, some configuration management stuff is coming. Containerization, I'm still learning myself. So this will get updated as I go through it. And then monitoring and observability is still coming soon. So yeah, I would say go check it out. It's the DevOps.guide. I'll probably have the link here. And this is available on GitHub. So, if you feel like, if you want to make any contributions, feel free to do so. It's open source. Okay. Nishark says, hello. I saw Akshit's video. You are very inspiring. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people I see are coming from that video. Shout out to Akshit. He reached out. He's like, we need more content like what I do in tech space, especially from people who have kind of non-traditional path, because I came here as an international student after 12th. I did my 2-year diploma, and then he was really wanted to know my journey, how I landed a role at Google, and why I am no longer working at Google. So yeah, if you're wondering what video we're talking about, it's the only kind of downside, I guess, is it's only in Hindi. So yeah, this is the video that I did with Akshit. Especially अगर आप tech में हो, and yeah, if you want to know my in-depth journey in Canada and in tech, go check it out. I think the original plan with Akshit was we wanted to do a video that would be 15 minutes to 20 minutes tops, and then we started recording, and we saw that we went into too much detail. But I think that's a good sign, because I don't want to leave details out. I wanted to provide like the actual perspective of how I went from working at a gas station and delivering pizzas while doing my diploma to doing a co-op and then finally landing a role at Google. But yeah, go check it out if you're interested what video we were talking about. But thank you, Nishar, for joining the live stream. Shubham Chaudhary says, do companies ask data structure and algorithm interview for the role of DevOps and cloud engineer? Not that I have came across. That shouldn't be on the interview. If there is some kind of overlap where you will be required to, develop stuff, maybe they can ask you about simple like questions, not something like you need to, like not a medium or hard lead code question maybe, but like a simple readability question. Maybe they'll give you some code and you read through it and you try to explain what's going on. So yeah. Tushar says, can I get the Discord server link of the cloud community? If this is for Learn to Cloud, it's just discord.learntocloud.guide. For the DevOps, as you can see, the Discord is still, coming soon. I haven't planned on launching a Discord community anytime soon. But yeah, if there is enough ask, sure, I'll launch it. Imposter movie says, "Bro, I'm in my first semester and networking's gonna start in second semester. Till then, what can I do to make that better?" I'm guessing this is specifically for networking. Sorry, there's police or like fire outside. Okay. Um. So let me show you a bit about what I'm planning, especially because you asked about networking. So I'm planning to do networking videos on my channel, and I'm trying to go really in depth. The reason is, if you don't know, I also teach cloud at a college. It's St. Lawrence College in Kingston, where I graduated from, and I'm teaching AWS, and I really have to prepare and stuff, of course, because it's a job. So I have all these slides um, that I have prepared for teaching cloud, especially like VPC stuff, and it's so like I feel like I have it's something that I'm proud of, and I just don't want it to be behind a paywall, like with the college, because in order to sit in my lectures, you have to be admitted to this college. So what I'm planning to do is launch it on my YouTube after I'm done teaching this semester. It won't be the exact same lecture stuff, but more since I have more control on what I can teach on YouTube. I'm planning to do a networking course. So expect that will be coming soon, probably end of this year or next year. But yeah, that's in the plans. But I would say go check Free Code Camp's networking course. It's really in depth, and it's something that you can do in a week or maybe 2 weeks, right? But yeah, look at these videos. So see how does the internet work. It's amazing. It's a 1 hour video, I think, and yeah, oh, things will make sense when you learn networking next semester. So Devadat says, "Bro, I'm interested in software engineering, and I'm doing my undergrad right now, and I'm in my first sem. Can you suggest the languages to learn?" Yeah, pick any language. I would say Python because that's what I chose, and I also have learned a bit of JavaScript, but I'm not an expert. I don't consider myself an expert in Python either. But yeah, pick one language, and I think Python is pretty good because it has multiple applications, right? Um, it's a pretty broad language, well adopted within companies and stuff. And then you can always pivot. So once you're really good with one language, you know, it will help you. It is easier to pivot to another language. It's just the syntax that will change. So yeah, this is I realized I was not sharing my screen, but this is the networking video I was talking about. So just search Free Code Camp networking, go through how does internet work, and then you can also go through the complete computer networking course, which is 9 hours long. Okay, hope that helps. Rishabh says, "I'm DevOps engineer without experience, so yes, you can be as well with the right skill." There you go. There's like a live example right in the chat. And I know Rishabh from Twitter. We have been glancing through stuff, and then he's also been really active on the channel. Rishabh says, "Rishabh, I'm learning ISE, so any suggestions from your side?" ISE, yeah, I picked Terraform because it's cloud agnostic. I already had experience working with CloudFormation. So I worked with CloudFormation for a year. And then as I moved from cloud engineer to DevOps engineer role, we decided to use Terraform. So that was my go, since you can deploy stuff in AWS, GCP, DigitalOcean, any cloud, I pick Terraform. And then there are some resources I've shared on the DevOps guide, Rishabh, so you can check it out. I've been getting a lot of good comments and feedback on my HashiCorp notes or the Terraform Associate notes, so you can check that out. I've talked much in detail about what are variable types, variable list. It's a lot of details about Terraform on in those notes. So I'll share that in the chat. What is the preferred programming language to learn as a DevOps engineer? There's no preferred language. Like, it totally depends on the company and the stack they're using, right? I think Python and Go are pretty popular within DevOps. I stick to Python, and I've been fine so far. Um, yeah, so Python and Go, I would suggest pick like one out of those two. Please, Kashish says, please post this live on your channel. Oh, you mean like later on as a recording? Sure, yeah. Devadat says, I've done Python and I am being taught C in college, but I wanted to do some other language too. If you're just interested in doing a language, yeah, pick something out of the comfort zone. So you're done Python, you're learning C. I don't know, pick C sharp or pick Java. Java is popular, and I think it'll be easy for you if you already are working in two languages to kind of, because you're already familiar with the concepts within one language, and then they just move to a different language, right? Akasa, is there any PG courses for cloud? I don't know. Let's search through that together. PG courses, cloud, Canada. So this is computer programming, software developer. There's a certificate you can do at Lambton, which is called Cloud Computing for Big Data, but I don't think this is a PG. Conestoga has virtualization and cloud computing. Yeah, most of them are certificates. But yeah, just like I Googled it, yeah, you would have to research. I'm not aware of any PG courses. Preetham says, sorry, someone just typed a question in the chat, so that went up. Where did it go? Preetham says, sir, your degrees. I'm guessing you want to know what degrees I hold. I only have a 2-year diploma in computer networking and technical support. So, yeah, here. Where is education? There. So I went for a 2-year diploma at St. Lawrence College. I don't have a degree. Hope that helps. Okay, next one in the chat is Jatin. Bro, what is the difference between SDE and DevOps? So SDE is software developers or software development engineers, right? DevOps is DevOps. Sorry. So you will work as a developer for SDE roles. Like you're working towards bugs, features for a product, right? You're coding every day. And yeah. And then for DevOps, you are working for delivering that software to the customers. So how that can be automated, how it can be reliable, right? So you need to understand the entire software development lifecycle and make sure most of the processes are automated so that your team or the other infrastructure teams don't have to spend much time on doing releases, right? So release is the term used when you push a new version of an app or a website or whatever your product is to production, right? And you can check out my channel on. I did a video, I think so. I could be wrong at this point. I don't even remember what kind of videos I've done. Come on. I think I did one. What is DevOps? DevOps. I did one on how I became a DevOps engineer. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I wrote a blog and I'm confused. How did I become? Oh, yes. I wrote a blog on what is DevOps and what does a DevOps engineer do. So go check it out. blog.rishabhkumar.com. Pretty easy URL to remember. Okay, Yes says, what's next in your career for you? Really interesting question. I don't know. Well, no, I have a plan, obviously. So for me, I am liking my role at Twilio right now. So for folks who don't know, I work as a developer evangelist at Twilio, right? Which gives me, I think I've built skill sets now, presenting technical talks at conferences, which was a huge, like I had fear of talking in public. So that has gone away now to some extent. I still get nervous when I'm on stage, but at least now I can speak and talk about technical topics, which is what I'm interested in. And I'm loving my role right now, so I'm gonna stay in this role for at least the next year or so, right? And who knows, maybe I'll be a developer evangelist for the next 3 years. Because my understanding of, being in DevRel, because there's a lot of debate on Twitter, right? And other community platforms that DevRel is not as technical, which is completely wrong. I have created a few demos and the amount of learning I had to do to get up to speed, because I'm not a developer, right? So in order to write code and follow best practices, because I will be presenting it at a stage, I don't want to look dumb, right? So yeah, it's definitely technical. And I love the aspect of, being involved in the communities and helping developers understand what Twilio has to offer, right? And then also just, I've been going to a lot of hackathons. So as a student, I've never been to hackathon until this year. And that's an amazing, it has been an amazing experience, talking to student communities and leaders of student communities and what are some pain points they're experiencing, right? So that is going quite good. So yes, I'm staying put for now, but if I have to pick something where, the dev rel doesn't work out for me, it would be going back to engineering. So, DevOps engineer or SRE is what I plan on doing if, DevRel doesn't work out for me. Okay. Devlet says, thank you so much. I'm happy I could help. So what is your typical workday like a cloud engineer or DevOps engineer? I did make a video on this, but as far as I can, and this is especially for cloud engineer, this is 2 years ago. I would come in, we would have a stand-up meeting every morning, and after the stand-up, and in the stand-up, you usually tell what you're working on, what tickets. So we had Jira. that we use for tracking progress and stuff and tickets. So I would talk about, I'm working on this issue, whatever. So we would get escalations sometime from support where the issue might rely on our infrastructure. So we have to, kind of investigate and find out what's going on for a particular customer that is hosted on our infrastructure in cloud, right? So those escalations, we had to deal with them in timely manner, right? Other than that, there would be features and stuff that we work on. So things like, better monitoring. I know one initiative we had was IAC. So we were trying to move everything to cloud formation instead of us deploying the infrastructure, manually in console or CLI. So I would work on that, and then I would go on lunch, and then we would have few meetings. I remember I had like 3 meetings a week, and that was it. And then I would go home, come back in the next day, probably work on the previous tickets again, because some of them like took a week or so to complete. Otherwise, I'll pick a new ticket to work on. And we also had some planning meetings that we did every quarter on what are some like impactful projects we can work on. So yeah, that was my time as a cloud engineer, and that remained kind of same as DevOps. Just the responsibilities kind of changed. So now I was working on monitoring and observability projects, working on cross cloud, like cloud agnostic infrastructure. So yeah, hope that helps. Imposter Bhuvi says, I am also an international student as you from Punjab, but my course don't have co-op in my course. Can you suggest me what to do? My college is George Brown College and same to the 2-year diploma as you. Great question. So folks who are not familiar with co-op, so co-op stands for, just like your internships. And some programs don't have it, some have it. It's a mandatory thing if your program has a co-op that you have to do the internship. And if it doesn't have, I would still say apply for internship roles, not co-op roles. And don't like fear of taking a break. That is one thing that I've seen a lot among students is completing your diploma as soon as possible. And, I get it. I get the idea behind it because, you're here as an immigrant, as an international student, you want to become a permanent resident. But if that comes with, so let's say you got an internship today, right? And it could be, any of the big companies, and that means you have to now work 5 days a week at that company, and it might impact your, full-time study schedule. So be willing to take a break from studies. So I don't know, take a drop, do that internship, whether it be for 4 months. That'll help you a lot in understanding how the industry works, and also later when you graduate to get jobs, because now you have more experience than anyone else at your college because you have worked for a company. But again, this is just my opinion. Like if that was the case with me, I would have done that because I learned a lot from my 2 months of co-op, even though it was free. Like I worked 40 hours a week for free for this company, but the end result was I joined them full time as soon as I graduated, and I learned a lot, right? So be willing to take that risk. But again, if that's not something you want to do, I would say, yeah, build the projects and participate in, like if you have a computer science club at your college. If there is no club, start one computer science club, and yeah, work on projects, organize hackathons. Those are some things that'll help you land a job when you graduate, and you'll have those things on your resume. So that is my suggestion. Ashan says, hello Rishabh, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, I saw Ashan on I'm guessing you're the same person, but I saw him at a local Google developer student club meeting that was at Conestoga. So start something like that. It was amazing. I met so many students, and I'm hoping they got some great advice for how to excel and get jobs. HD Vlog says, "Hi Rishabh, love your videos. Keep going. I'm pursuing computer system technician diploma." Yeah, that I think that's what they call it now. So I did a computer networking technical support diploma, but the name has changed now. Any tips for me? I'm in my first semester and I want to work in cloud. Where should I start? First semester, yeah. Already you are on a great track compared to me. I didn't even know what I wanted to do until then. And I was just chilling. I was also still in culture shock moving to Canada. So yeah, I would say start looking at, pick a cloud provider and start looking at their fundamental courses or fundamental certifications. I think if you're picking AWS, Cloud Practitioner is a good one. Familiarize yourself with the concepts. So since this is your first semester, I would also say start with Linux and networking first, right? It is something that will be in your course in the second semester, but if you can do this on the side, like you'll be, well versed for your second semester. So start with Linux and networking. Familiarize yourself with, how Linux works, the command line, right? Learn few important commands. Same thing with networking, how internet works, what is the OSI model, things like that. And I think you'll be great since you're in your first semester. And then as you progress, I would say like in second semester, the end of second semester, I would say start working towards, AWS Cloud Practitioner or Azure AZ900 is the Azure Fundamentals one. Hope that helps. HD Vlogs. Devadat says, could you suggest some project ideas that I could do as I'm still a beginner and I would like to familiarize myself with coding? Build anything. So for me, let's see what I have. If you're specifically looking for a project in cloud and you want it beginner friendly, I have this Azure Resume API, and I think that is great as a starter project. I have both versions in JavaScript and Python, so go check that out, and it will help you understand, serverless, right? Because we use Azure Functions. So yeah, that is a good beginner-friendly project, I feel like. What else I can suggest? Yeah, you can build like a weather API visualizer in Python, and also look for problems that you might have. So for me, I built this GitHub Actions SMS alert, and I'm presenting this next year at Civo Navigate, which is a conference by Civo in Florida. So my talk got accepted. But I had an issue where, I'm using GitHub Actions for my CI/CD for all my projects. So, my personal website, my blog site, and other projects. And the thing with GitHub Actions is you get an email when your CI/CD action fails. You don't get a text. But working as a DevOps engineer, we have PagerDuty and other tools that, send you an alert on your phone that, hey, your build has failed, kind of thing. So I built this. So look for problems that you are facing right now. So for me, it was, the SMS alert that I needed for any of the GitHub actions that failed. So I created this. So yeah. Sarvan Kumar says, I'm cloud computing student in Lambton College. How to apply for the big banks as co-op for the cloud and DevOps role? Are they expecting knowledge as experience for intern and co-op roles? Yeah. So they don't expect much from like co-op roles. Just present yourself, like have a resume that can stand out compared to other students at your college. That's my tip on that. So also, like I said, see if you have a computer science club at your college. if not create one. Like take that leadership kind of role and create one. If there is one, participate in it, and then mention that on your resume. So those are a few things that can help you stand out um, among other students who are applying for internships and co-op. Other than that, they're not looking for anything much more than having projects. So like have one project where you show that you have worked with cloud and you know the DevOps concepts, right? So yeah, that's my advice on that. Imposter Movie says, could you share the projects you have done during your student life by which you got accepted by the company for 2 months co-op given by your dean? So, I think one of the things that I really improved was my grades. And that's why I was kind of, like known by the dean. So dean knew me personally. And the reason is I had some incidents. We can talk about it later. Like maybe I'll do a video on this. I had some incidents as a student, and the first, especially the second semester, I had a GPA of 2 point something, and that was not like ideal. I was called to the dean's office among other students who were doing poorly, right? And the next semester, my GPA went from 2 point something, and this is out of 4, to 3.8. And then I was called again. And they just wanted to say like they're impressed by the progress that I made, even though like semester 3 was more, advanced than semester 2. So, and that's when I'm like, they knew that I worked part-time jobs and I was working night shifts at the gas station, and that was something that was impacting my studies. And I had a really nice professor in Linux. So Linux has always been like my, I have a soft spot for it. And that professor helped me a lot. And my Linux knowledge, I think there were like 5 students in the class who were like really good at Linux. And this is coming from, the point of view of the course. So don't think of it like I was not as good as, the professionals themselves. But when talking about the collective class, there were like top, like 5 students that were really good at Linux. And the reason being due to our great professor. And one thing that I mentioned on my resume was, Linux a lot of the times. So during my interview for the co-op, which was a 15-minute call, and we are great. Like he's a mentor to me now. His name is Sean, and he asked me a command, and I knew it like right off my, as soon as he asked it, I knew the answer. And I also know the options. So let's say, how grep has some options, right? You can have dash. What are the options available? At that time, they were like in my mind, top of my head, I could tell what were the options. And he was impressed. He's like, that's good. And then also just the way I talked on the phone was something that impressed him. And then as soon as I was done with my first week, I was onboarded really quickly to handle tickets. And since co-op is free, right, you're not being paid. This company that I was working for, they have never experienced that kind of work ethic, or because students would come in, and I didn't know this. This was told by my manager, that they would come in and they would usually work on their like class projects or school projects, or they would read some book, and they would like do 1 or 2 tickets a week kind of thing, because you're on co-op, right? And the company doesn't expect much of you, but you have the ability to go above and beyond. Like I would ask him, I would say, is there any tickets for me that I could work on? Like I would really love to learn, server management and stuff, because we had a servers rack. So things like that, I think, helped me stand out. And in return, I got a return offer. For the projects, I built a CLI tool, which I don't have on GitHub because I didn't know GitHub existed back then. which is funny. But yeah, I had a command line tool and I had one script in Perl, which is, really good scripting language. So those were two projects. I'll see if I can find them. But yeah, those two projects, I think, not something that was advanced enough. Like now I think of it, I could have built something more valuable and advanced. But yeah. Okay. Sorry, I went there on a tangent, right? On a journey. Chetan says, "Hey Rishabh, any good suggestions on learning Terraform?" Yeah. I have one. Go check out my notes on Terraform. Other than that, I think the documentation on Terraform is really great. So the HashiCorp's official documentation, start there. It's really good to start your Terraform journey. And then obviously you can search for, free code camp Terraform. They have a 1 hour course to get you started. Satyam says, "Hey Rishabh, I'm upcoming university student in Canada and currently just participating in hackathons and getting into cloud gradually. Containerizing old projects. Awesome. Love your tweets and content, man. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad I could help." HD Vlog says, "Cool, thanks. I messaged you on Insta 1 year, got my answer today, lol." I was not on Insta for 2 years, and this year I decided to be on Insta. And yeah, comment it on my channel. Like YouTube is where I answer tech stuff. Insta is something personally I use, and I might also delete it in the future. So, um, and I didn't know people could DM me. So, call me a noob or call me outdated, whatever. But I didn't know how to use Insta until this year. Other thing, I don't know. Yeah, tweet to me publicly, like just ask me if you're looking for advice. Just ask me a question on my channel or on the tweet. And that is why I'm doing these streams, because I can answer them live. So sorry if your message didn't caught my attention. Okay. Denny says, "I've forgotten if you can beatbox or not. If you can you do some for me for 1 minute, please?" I cannot beatbox. Yeah, I don't know where you get the idea. Ashley Vlog says, "Yeah, I switched my career path from I moved to Canada in 2018 and did business admin. I'm switching to IT, so no. So now I moved to Toronto from Calgary and pursuing computer system technician at Seneca." Awesome. And yeah, I'm often in Toronto. So maybe we'll do a meetup. I wish we should do a Canadian meetup. I've been asked a lot of times if there is an event they could attend, and maybe I'll start a DevOps meetup. Actually, yeah. So he said we should meet up sometime. Definitely, I'll look forward to that. Imposter says, "So what can you suggest me as advanced projects?" Cloud Resume Challenge. Build a Cloud Resume Challenge by the end of when you graduate. So have that as a goal of when you graduate, have a Cloud Resume Challenge project. And let me show you what I mean by that. So if you just type in cloud, and the good thing is it's available in all 3 cloud platforms. So this is a challenge. You click on take the challenge, and then you go through AWS, GCP, or Azure, whichever your cloud provider is, and it has a step-by-step guide. I built this in not exactly this, because this was not a thing then, but I built something similar to the Cloud Resume Challenge when I went from tech support to the cloud engineering role. That was the project that I talked about during my interview. So this, and I think this is also good, the serverless resume API. I shared it in the chat, so go check it out. I think the serverless resume API is good, beginner friendly project. And I'm planning to make this, like, instead of Azure Resume API, I'm planning to make this serverless Resume API in all three clouds. So AWS, Azure, GCP, right? So yeah, um, those are the two that I would recommend, and you should be good. Future. Hey, I need advice about placement. Saurabh says, how to start career in Azure? Yeah, so is AZ900 104 easy? I won't say they're easy, but if you're prepared well, they'll come to you easy, if that makes sense. Yeah, I have both of them, and yeah, they were like, you need to study. You can't just like, I had been working for like with Azure for like 4 or 6 months until then, and I couldn't just go in and sit the exam and pass it. So yeah, there you need a bit of learning, especially with AZ 104. So yeah, and those are good certificates to start. So those two would be good to start a career in Azure. Future says, so should I do my master's for in-campus placement or learn by myself and do off-campus placement? It's totally up to you. For me, the reason I didn't do my undergrad was financial reasons, right? As an international student, the fees for undergrad is too much. That's why I went for a diploma. Maybe I'll do it in the future. Who knows? But yeah, I chose diploma and then self-taught cloud and DevOps path, and I think I'm doing fine. So it totally depends on your situation. Chetan says, did you lead code for your Google job? What level of coding was required, brother? Oh my God. That is one thing I messed up. I didn't lead code for like the first time when I was rejected. I did like 2 or 3 questions, and I have been called out on that you didn't prepare, so like you were supposed to be rejected. Yeah, I did lead code for like 2 or 3 days before the interview, but that was not enough given that I'm not a software developer, right? But yeah, I wish I did, because then I would have gotten the Google role back in July of 2021. But the next time that I interviewed, the role was different. So instead of a technical solution engineer, I was technical solution specialist, and that's why they said we didn't need, to do the data structures round or the programming round. But yeah, all my other interviews, I nailed them, like as per the feedback of the recruiter. All the other interviews went really good because those are my strengths. Like, I love system architecture, and I've built systems. So system design went good. My understanding of networking and how internet works was really good. APIs, how APIs work, was good. So yeah, all the other interviews went well. It was just the coding one that I bombed. HD Vlogs, I have a quiz for Linux. See you next time. Oh, awesome. Yeah, good luck with your quiz. Imposter Movie says, how do get the PR during this journey? So I plan on doing a video. I'll probably reach out to Akshat. And I don't know if he's in the chat, but let's do a video, Akshat, on my PR journey, because that is something that a lot of people are interested in. And so, and you can ask my partner, my friends. PR was not a goal for me from the beginning. I realized that very soon, that if you get into the trap of getting the PR, like I was told that I should stay at the gas station, or I should stay at wherever I was delivering pizzas, so that I can get LMI or some kind of sponsorship from the workplace and get PR. Instead, I quit and I joined this company, where I didn't know what would happen with my PR status, but I had 3 years of work permit, and I knew that I will be working for those 3 years in tech. So yeah, I went through that and I reached out to my HR at this company and I'm like, there's this program called OINP and I'm eligible for it. I just need the employer form from you. How likely is the chance I can get that? And shout out to her. She's an amazing person. She supported me through my entire career there. Um, and yeah, she's like, yeah, we can talk about it. It did take a month for her to just get approvals and stuff for the employer form, but in the end, she did get it, and I filed my ONP. And again, the reason I wanted to do this video is I did it all by myself, right? Because I did reach out to a lawyer or immigration lawyer, and they were asking for some crazy fees which I didn't want to pay. And I'm like, all of this is documented on the immigration website. So if you go to IRCC or OINP for Ontario's nomination program, everything is available. I just had to read through it. So on a weekend, I read through it, applied it, got my ONP in 28 days, and then applied for my PR. So that's the story behind it. But yeah, I can go into much detail, and I think Akshit's channel would be nice. Um, Motivation Ethics says, "Hi sir, I am pursuing undergrad in AI and DS. What do you, which I guess is data science here. What to do for Google? Um, build projects, participate in hackathons, Google events. Google has a lot of events. Participate in those, build connections, and yeah, you should be fine. Um, but yeah, definitely have some projects to talk about." Chetan says, "Video idea, could you do a day in a life video? I think it would be a great hit." It is a great hit. Um, I thought I don't feel good about it because all of my other technical videos are not doing so great, and I think they are more valuable. But my day in a life at Google is almost at 500,000 views. So I did one for Google. I also did one in for Twilio. So yeah, go check that out there on my channel. Um, Same as UPR is the secondary thing for me as well. Professional life and good career is all I want in tech. Yeah, that should be the goal. It's Canada. Like, you will get your PR some day or other day, right? Build a career. That's what we are here for, right? Like, I always give this advice that remember why you came to Canada. And to this day, I have it on my journal. So, like, and that is what I recommend for a lot of international students is journal. Sit down at the end of the day or the beginning of the day and write things in your journal, like how you're feeling, how was your day. That'll help you a lot because we are away from our families. We don't have much connections here. It's not true for everyone, but if you're feeling alone and like depressed, anxious, put it into a journal, let it out, go forward with your day. Um, I have like this is I think my fourth or fifth journal for Canada right now. So I have my old ones saved, and sometimes I go through them and see like what was my thought process then, right? Motivational ethics says artificial intelligence and data science. Yeah. Thank you, dear sir, and please don't call me sir. I'm. I feel like I feel old. Don't call me sir. Rishabh is fine. Motivation ethics says I'm working on it. Awesome. Imposter Bhuvi says, you said keep your dreams in mind, and I got that. Yeah. They can be as crazy as you want them. Like nothing is unattainable and nothing is impossible. Um, you do have to work hard for them. But again, if you do put the work, it will happen. Imposter Bhuvi says, I watch your podcast with Akshit for 5 Thank you. No, thank you. I hope, and that's why we didn't cut it short. We left it for 40 minutes, is because I wanted it to be like as informational as I can be, and to help others in the community because I have been in that space. Like I've been there. I've been an international student, and I know how much struggle and stress we go through. Not only us, like our families too. So, yeah, that was the goal. Can you please discuss about the phase 3 and phase 5 of Learn to Cloud guide? It is a little confusing. Okay. Yeah. If you have a specific question, definitely reach out. Like I don't know what you want me to explain about it. Um, Phase 3 is cloud computing, so you familiarize and get proficient with one cloud. You can pick your poison, I would say AWS, Azure, GCP, and yeah, that's phase 3. Phase 5 is cloud security. So if some cloud security is something that you're interested in, I would suggest checking out phase 5. So I don't know what, like, ask your concern, like elaborate more on why you're confused for those two phases. Shiva says, "Hi, bro." Hi. I don't know why you're laughing. Um, like I don't know if it was something that I said. So a bit of context would be good. Chetan says, "Do you like coding more or playing around with different cloud services?" Now I think I love building something cool. So yeah, I would say it's not that I won't explore cloud services. I do them because that's my strengths, right? So even with Twilio stuff, most of the technical content that I'm creating is either it comes from a DevOps engineer perspective or a cloud engineer perspective. Um, what's up, Einstein? Hi. Oh, Einstein. Trust me, there are more smarter people in this chat than me. Rishkali, Rukshali says hello. Hey, um, I wanted to reach out on Twitter because I think your Discord account, something happened to your Discord account. So I'll reach out after the stream. But yeah, I wanted to talk. Again, if you have not followed Rukshali, go follow her on Twitter. She is dropping great content with her tweets. But yeah, motivation ethics is which type of project I need to do in artificial intelligence and data science. Again, I don't know. Sorry. That is not something I've explored, right? So you would have to ask someone else or just do research, like search on Google and GitHub and see what other people are building. Or if you have a problem in mind already, you can try solving that. Segs say, bro, Python Parado ASAP. Yeah, something is coming. So keep a lookout for that. It is in collaboration with someone amazing from the community, especially in the DevOps space. So something is in the works for Python, and you'll see it soon. Rishabh says, "Okay, bro, bye bye. Going for dinner." Yep, bye, Rishabh. Thanks for hopping on the stream. Thanks for joining in, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, I think I'll also drop now. It's been an hour. I've been doing this. Foster Movie says, "Bro, do plan a meetup soon, please. I just want to meet my idol." Thank you for the kind words again. Yes, I'll work on something. It is in the works. I can't talk much in detail because I wanted a really cool venue to have this meetup at, and I'll see if that works out. So I'm working on something, but yes, I'll definitely post about it once it's planned out. Motivational ethics, where you studied and your qualification. So I studied at St. Lawrence College. I was showing that on LinkedIn. So, which is in Kingston. So I came after my high school to Canada. So after my 12th, and I did a 2-year diploma in computer networking and technical support. So yeah, that's my qualification. Seg says, bro, which car do you own? So I don't own a car. I used to have a 2018 Elantra, um, which I bought. So that when I sold that last year because of me working from home, and it was just sitting in the parking lot. So I was not getting the most use out of it. Sex says your favorite song, and that's the last question I'll take today because I need to go eat something now. I'm hungry. Um, yeah, I think we have been doing this for an hour, so it's a good time. My favorite song right now is, and don't come after me, it's the EP that I've been listening. So there are two EPs that I've been listening back to back. One is Sidhu's No Name, and the other one is AP's Two Hearts Never Break the Same, I think. Let me pull up my Spotify. Yeah, Two Hearts Never Break the Same by AP. And Sidhu's No Name is something that I'm listening currently. Um, yeah, I also saw that Divine's album came out, so that is something I'm gonna listen to today. So those are my like back to back songs that I've been listening right now. But yeah, anyways, this was great. Thanks for tuning in. Sex is like he knew that, right? It's a good album. Uh, it's something different that AP is trying to do, and I really respect that. Um, your LinkedIn. Amit says you ignored my comment. How can we move? Oh, sorry. Yeah. How can we move into DevOps domain from any other domain? Like if someone only working on AWS services. Check out. So I've posted a lot of content around what DevOps is and how I became a DevOps engineer. So I would highly recommend go check that out. I also have something called the DevOps guide that I'm building. So it's the DevOps.guide, and it'll help you with the skill set of becoming a DevOps engineer. So yeah, go check that out. I didn't mean to ignore your comment. Your LinkedIn, sure, I'll share my LinkedIn. Seg says MC Stan Sono. I used to listen to him, and then not like because I saw they had some beef and stuff, and then you look up stuff on people and yeah. Um, it was great live stream. Thank you for your awesome guidance. No worries. Yes, Shinda. Let's go, Shinda. Shout out to Shinda. You and me share the same thoughts, but you know that people will come at us. Impossible we say is bro to see AP. I think I did it before AP. Go look at my old photographs. No, I don't try to impersonate him, but yeah, he's a good man. Um, but anyways, peace out. Thanks for hanging out, and this was awesome. I think we got really good amount of questions, and I tried to answer them. But yeah, keep a lookout for the next one. Maybe I'll create a scheduled stream for this, like maybe every Tuesday we do this. I try to compensate the Indian time zone here. I know it's like 10 p.m. there now. So usually like 9 p.m. is when I start. And maybe I'll do a poll next time to see when is a great day and time for Indians and also my North American folks to join the stream. And yeah, this was fun.